this section, we will talk about the various services that Ecolife offers. It is crucial that you are familiar with all of the services that we provide and that you are able to explain them to the customers and help them to choose the right service for their needs, as well as provide the service confidently. As you proceed through the different levels of a technician, you'll be required to be able to do more and more services. For services that require you to pull a hose from your vehicle, make sure that you never pull the hose through flower beds or other sensitive areas around the home. Every service has a code assigned by the office. You will need to know what service they correspond to. You will also need to keep track of how much product you use on every job and record it on your tablet. Some services price will be based off of square footage. Every vehicle will be equipped with a measuring wheel to find the square footage of an area. Use the measuring wheel to get the length and width of the lawn. To find the square footage of a lawn, you simply times the length and the width. After you find the square footage, round it up or down to the nearest thousand. So for example, if your lawn was 107 wide and 78 long, you would simply do 107 times 78, which equals 8,346. 8,346 is your square footage, and in this case, you would round it down to 8,000 square feet. The best way to know to round up or down is that if the number after the comma are more than 500, you round up. If they are less than 500, you round down. Most of the time, a lawn is not going to be in one solid square. So you are going to have to measure multiple locations and then add up all the total square footage of a lawn. You will need to measure any new lawns or lawns for customers who do not have a lawn size. Our first service we provide is called Lawn Fuel. These services will be labeled as LO1 through LO6. The L stands for lawn and the number refers to the number of the application. So a spring service would be labeled as LO1 because it is a lawn treatment and it is the first one of the year. The method of applying a lawn fuel service can vary with each application. However, every application is focused on killing weeds and fertilizing the lawn. Depending on your region, you may do an all-liquid application for the first service of the year. With a liquid service, you will need to make sure you cover the entire lawn uniformly. The liquid spray has fertilizer and weed killer combined and will green up a lawn very quickly. So if you miss a spot, it will be very obvious within a couple of weeks. That being said, you do not want to over-apply. This will cause the lawn to burn and brown up because the fertilizer is almost all nitrogen. All other applications will consist of two parts, the first being the fertilizer. We use a granular fertilizer and it will need to be spread with a fertilizer spreader. As we talked about in the previous section, your spreader will have a few settings on it. So consult with your supervisor if you are not sure what those settings need to be. Your spreader has about a 10-foot span, so be aware of that as you are applying fertilizer close to sidewalks and other sensitive areas. Start by going around the entire perimeter of the lawn and then go back and forth as if you were mowing a lawn. You want your passes to overlap a little, but not too much. Too much overlap can cause green stripes in the lawn, and no overlap will cause a dull stripe in the lawn, so make sure you get good even coverage over the entire lawn. The next part of this service is the weed spray. We use a broadleaf herbicide for this. Broadleaf herbicide kills most weeds in the lawn, such as dandelions and clovers. It is a selective herbicide, meaning that it will kill weeds but not grass. This also means that it will not kill invasive grasses, such as pasture grass or saltgrass. As with fertilizer, you will want to walk the entire lawn in a pattern similar to mowing the lawn. As you go, you will spot spray any weeds you see. It is not necessary to coat the entire lawn as the spray will only kill the weeds that are present and has no long-lasting effect on the yard. If it becomes too windy, do not do this service. In windy conditions, your spray will drift and can kill gardens and flower beds. The price for this service is based on square footage and it has a 20-day guarantee. We do offer fertilizer and weed spray as separate services if the customer only wants one or the other. Next, we have our foundation sprays. These are included in the Pest Shield program. This service consists of putting an insecticide around the foundation and eaves of the homes. We also do the window wells if a home has them. While spraying, make sure not to spray windows or glass doors as the product will leave a residue on them. As you go around the home, use a constant stream of product as much as possible. When you are spraying the eaves, do not spray above windows as the product will drip down onto them. Your hose will be pressurized, so you should have no problem spraying tall homes. Be careful in windy conditions as the spray may drift onto you or others as you apply it if you are not alert. Our outside spray can last up to 2 months depending on the outdoor conditions, and we guarantee it for 20 days. The price for this service is a fixed amount. Our inside and outside spray consist of the regular foundation spray and an inside spray. We do not offer inside-only sprays with the exception of apartments, where we cannot spray the outside. This is because the outside spray will prevent insects from coming into the home, and the inside spray will kill the ones that are already inside. But an inside spray alone will not keep bugs out of the house. Together, though, they are extremely effective. We recommend doing this service twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall. To apply the inside spray, you will need your B&G hand sprayer. Apply product to the baseboards, being careful not to spray product on cabinet doors or appliances. You will also spray a small amount of product into the corners of the windows. There is an extra charge for crawl spaces and ants. If ants are a problem, you will need to place a few bait stations for added control. If they want crawl spaces sprayed, you will need to crawl into them and get all the way around the foundation of the home. Roundup is a one-time knockdown for everything including grass. This service is performed by covering everything in the desired area with a liquid spray. This service uses a contact herbicide, which means that it will kill whatever it touches. However, it can reach up to 12 inches in the soil, so make sure that you stay at least 12 inches away from anything the customer does not want killed. This service should not be done in windy conditions. Roundup services have a knockdown guarantee, but no long-term guarantees. Roundup Plus has an additional pre-emergent, which gives it a long-term control. Because this product uses a pre-emergent, you will need to spray the entire desired area thoroughly, even in the areas where there is no vegetation. Pre-emergent prevents new weeds from coming back for prolonged periods. This service will control the weeds very well, but it is not a sterilant and will not eradicate weeds forever. As with the Roundup service, you should not spray within 12 inches of anything that the customer does not want dead. Roundup Plus is guaranteed for 20 days, but will last longer. This service should not be done in windy conditions. Our lawn aerations require the use of a machine that pulls plugs out of the lawn to reduce compaction. On average, the aerator should be pulling out 3-inch plugs. Use the aerator as if you were mowing a lawn to get the best coverage. Stay 12 inches away from the edge of the lawn to avoid sprinklers. Walk the lawn before you start and mark out any sprinkler heads that are in the middle of the lawn. Trees can have thousands of different problems that will prevent them from being healthy. We offer specialty services for trees in cases where we can help. The two types of services we offer fall into two basic categories. The first is pest-related problems. In most cases, if the pest is in the tree, we can spray it with our normal foundation spray and it will kill the pest in the tree. If it is a fruit tree, we cannot spray the insecticide after the blossoms have fallen off the tree, because at this point the tree has started to produce fruit and our insecticides are not agricultural grade. If there is a problem with the insects boring into the tree, then we will do a soil drench. For a soil drench, apply the product to the first 5 feet of the trunk and use the product to drench the soil directly at the base of the tree to allow the tree to take up the product and to take it up through the tree. This makes it so when the insects eat the tree, they ingest the insecticide. The second type of service is for most common diseases. We can do one of two things. The first is an application applied to the bark and infected areas of the tree. With a hand sprayer, you will cover as much of the tree as possible. The second option is to use a rod to probe into the ground and to put the product into the soil closer to the roots to allow the product to flow up through the tree naturally. Methods vary based on the product, so be sure to read the label of any product you use to find out the best method of application for that specific product. If grubs are present in a lawn, we put down a granular insecticide targeted specifically at grubs. Even though we call this service a grub treatment, it will work for any turf-destroying insects such as billbugs or sod webworms. To do this service, you will need a hand spreader to apply the granular insecticide to the entire lawn. Even though certain spots will seem affected and others will not, you still need to apply the product to the entire lawn. Grubs and other turf-destroying insects cause damage long before signs start to show up. If customers have had problems in the past with turf-destroying insects, we will put an application down early in the year, even if there is no evidence of them. Always let people know that they may see new damage even after treatment, because even after the insects are dead, the damage they caused may still show up in time. The best way to get the lawn to come back in these dead spots is to put new seed down and to continue to water and fertilize like normal. Flower bed pre-emergent is a service that we recommend for anyone who has flower beds on their property. It is an easy upsell that works great. We use a hand spreader to apply the granular pre-emergent to flower bed areas. Be sure to uncover the tire bed thoroughly. Make sure that the customer knows that this will not kill weeds. It is to prevent new weeds from growing in the flower bed. We do not spray weeds in the flower beds unless they're okay with everything dying. Termite inspections are common when someone is buying or selling a home. To do this service, you must be certified for wood-destroying insects. You will go inside a home and check for exposed wood on baseboards, windows, and anywhere else where you might be able to find it. Outside, you will check foundations and any other exposed wood, as well as any other buildings or wood piles on the property. We mostly deal with subterranean termites, which means that you will usually find damage in the lower parts of the home first. This type of termite cannot be exposed to the air because they have to stay moist, so they build mud tunnels on the foundation or anywhere where they cannot be inside the wood. Look for these tunnels as you do your inspection. After you have completed the inspection, you will need to fill out a termite report and send it to the customer. This form will tell them if they have termites or not and what needs to be done. If you do find termites at a home, measure the linear footage of the home and any other buildings that need to be treated so that we can give an estimate before you leave. Termite inspections are only visual inspections. We do not give advice on the structure of the home itself. They will need to call someone else to evaluate the structural integrity of their home. After termites have been found, we perform a termite treatment. For this service, you will need to dig a trench around the entire home as close as possible to the foundation. If there is cement, you will need to drill holes every 12 to 16 inches. You will use these holes to put a rod in and get the termiticide under the cement. Based on the linear footage of the home, the label on the termiticide will tell you how much product you will need to apply around the home. Fill your trench all the way around the home and apply the product inside of the holes you drilled. Repeat this process until you have used the required amount of termiticide. After you have finished and the termiticide is fully soaked into the soil, fill your trenches and use concrete patch to fix the holes you have drilled. Termite pre-treatments are done on new construction home or buildings. You will use a termiticide to treat the voids around the foundation of the home, as well as the dirt that will be used to backfill around the home. Read the label to determine how much product needs to be applied, as well as what application method you will need to use, depending on the type of construction. Termite monitoring stations can be used in buildings where the owner is uncertain if they have active termites or old damage. Some new constructions will install these as well. To do this service, you simply dig a small hole and place the monitoring station in the hole and pack the dirt around it to keep it in place. Make sure the top of the station is level with the ground, but not buried. We will go back annually to open the stations and check for any termite activity. Bed bugs are becoming more and more common. To combat these infestations, we provide heat treatment services. Anyone can get bed bugs. They are hitchhikers. So it has nothing to do with the cleanliness of our customers. It just comes down to their luck. Bedbug treatments consist of a minimum of 4 visits. On your first visit, you will do an inspection of any areas that could be harboring bedbugs. Be thorough with your inspections as bedbugs can be very difficult to find. While doing your inspection, ask a lot of questions to try and find out where the bedbugs have come from. If, for example, they have a friend who sleeps over every weekend who has bedbugs at their house, and we treat our customer's home, it is not going to do us any good to do the treatment because the next time their friend sleeps over, they will reintroduce the bed bugs into the home. Once you have identified bed bugs as the common problem and found out where they came from, you will go over the heat treatment. You will need to go over all of the forms and contracts with the customer, as well as walk through the home with them and show them how they need to prepare for our service. We use a combination of heat and insecticides. So we only need to heat the rooms where there is an infestation, not the entire home. We will put down insecticides in the entire home to prevent spreading. After you have gone over everything with them, we will have the office give them a call to set up a time when we can come to their home. They will need to be out of the home for 24 hours. On your next visit, you will set up the heaters and apply insecticide to the baseboards of the entire home, as well as treat any furniture such as couches where bed bugs could easily hide that are not in the rooms being treated with heat. You will place heat sensors in the rooms where you are using heat to treat. This will allow you to monitor the heat even when you are not there. We use an app called iMonit on your tablet. The technician that places the sensors is responsible for monitoring the temperature until the next day when they are removed. If anything seems off or the rooms are not reaching the temperatures it needs to, you will need to return and fix the problem. Bed bugs start dying at 111 degrees Fahrenheit. Our target temperature is 135. If you are working somewhere like a hotel that has built-in sprinklers, you will need to cover all of the sprinkler heads. If you do not, the heat will set the sprinklers off and flood the area where you are working. Your third visit will be 24 hours later to remove all of the equipment. Once everything is removed, let the customer know that they need to wait a couple of hours for everything to cool down, but then they are good to return to the home. Your fourth visit will be the follow-up 2 weeks after the treatment. During this visit, you apply another round of preventative pesticide. Take this opportunity to talk with the customer to find out how things are going. In rare cases, we will need to treat again if bed bugs have been reintroduced into the home or if they were harbored in areas where the heat was not able to kill them. In very rare cases, we can treat an entire home with just insecticides, but it is not always effective, as many strands of bed bugs are resistant to many types of insecticides. We do not offer any guarantee on pesticide-only treatments, as it takes many rounds of treatment to get the desired control. We do, however, offer guarantees on our heat treatments. Rodent control is a simple service that consists of placing bait boxes and refilling the bait. When you go to do the service for the first time, make sure that you take the bait boxes with you. An average size home will need 4 bait boxes, one on each side of the home. Try to place each box near a source of water or food. We can place boxes on the inside of the home, but it is not necessary due to the amount that mice travel in a single day. If they cannot get food or water inside, they are going to be outside to find it. After you have placed the bait boxes, use a large stake to secure the box to the ground so that they cannot be moved. We will come back quarterly to change out the bait in each bait box. Flies can be hard to control, so we offer a few add-on services to help control them. The first is stickers with insecticide on them. Place the stickers in the corners of windows where the flies seem to be congregating. The stickers alone do not have a very good attractant, so spray a small amount of attractant next to the stickers. These need to be changed out every 6 months. The other option is to place bait boxes outside on fence posts. You will need to secure each station with a screw or wire and then fill them with a granular bait. This will attract the flies away from the home as well as kill the flies. We change out the bait quarterly. For golfers and voles, we offer a baiting service. You will need a bait stick to probe down into the tunnels and place the bait. When you arrive, you will need to walk the entire property looking for mounds. Once you find all the mounds, you will need to probe them and place the bait in every tunnel. You will know you have found it when you feel the probe break through. Once you have broken into the tunnel, turn the handle once to release the bait and then move on to the next mound. For cockroach services, you will need to take a bait gun with you, as well as a hand sprayer. Spray the entire home on the baseboards as well as in the corners of the windows. Once you have located the main areas of the infestation, use the bait gun to leave a small amount of gel bait where people cannot easily get to it.